Hello, hello, hello. I am completely and totally not prepared right now. Don't mind me, y'all. I actually ended up, I was on the phone with my mom talking about a potential cruise for September of next year to Hawaii. Um, and things got carried away. So typically, I would have had all this stuff completed, and yet here we are. How is everyone? Everyone doing okay? How's everyone's week going so far? Let me get slides. Okay. Up. Hello, hello. It's in use. I know it's in use. Oh, so I would have to close it out. I'm guessing. No. Okay. The slides are loading. My bad, y'all. This is so very much like me. I did not. I literally just called her to ask her when she wanted to start looking at cruise related stuff, and then we just started looking, and then it just went not downhill. Downhill is not a good description. It just got like super intense because I don't think she realized how quickly like cruises book. And we were supposed to be going for her 60th birthday, and just things. Hello, everyone. Okay, there we are. Now I feel like I'm more prepared. Actually, am not completely prepared. My tea is on the other side of the room. Hold on, let me go get it. Because I have been overcoming I don't know what it's been. Not a sickness per se. Well, yeah, no, it's been a sickness. I'm gonna say not a sickness per se. But y'all got me sick because some child at daycare got her sick. But I didn't really like, I don't know, it was weird. It's been very much so respiratory. Nothing else but respiratory. And it didn't make my asthma flare up or anything like that, but it caused this like long, it still feels like there's just something in the back of my throat, which I don't like that feeling. And it's breaking up, which is great, but I notice that it gets worse the more that I talk. So we're going to keep this brief. My mug says, I really wish there was a day, or I really need a day between Saturday and Sunday, which is very, very true. I can't wait for fall. My birthday is the last day of summer, and I cannot wait for fall. Okay. Are we ready to get started? Are y'all ready for this next wave? It's not as many. I think I did 50, maybe a little over 50 last time that I did this live. I think I did a little over 50. And this time there's 49. So somewhere around the ballpark of like 100 new releases for the month of October, which is still a lot. For all of you wondering from last week's session, I did start the Hurricane Wars. It's been interesting. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Not far into it because I've had so much other stuff to read, but I did start it. All right, let's go ahead and get this Bad boy started. Okay, so we're starting with the week of October 17th. All right. So I'm sure the biggest one is going to be the the one in the center. Um, so the first one that I have here is The House of Doors, which is an adult fiction. Um, it's a novel about love and betrayal, colonialism and revolution, storytelling and redemption. I honestly put this one here because the cover. Not gonna lie to you. That was definitely a cover selection. Um, the second one is a big one. I think a lot of people are going to be interested in picking this one up, considering the popularity that was showcased with Will's book. Um, and then, of course, the events with Chris Rock happened after he released his autobiography. Um, and now Jada is releasing hers, and it's called Worthy. The cover's really interesting. It's actually the cover is designed with, I think it's like 1,000 photographs of her that have been formulated to actually create her face, which I think is pretty cool. Um, I don't know how I feel about that one. Um, but I am going to read it because I know that it's going to be a big one across social media upon its release. And the third one that we have here is a picture book called Patchwork Prince. Um, it's a story about a boy who was made royal by his mother's hand-stitched clothes, and it's inspired by the author's childhood growing up in St. Lucia. So I think the artwork in that one's going to be really, really nice. Just the cover looked really, really pretty. All right, moving into the next set. This definitely um, is the month for sequels. I like when I was going through the rest of October, I was like, dang, this is definitely like a month built on sequels. Um, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. It's not anything against her. It's just like I don't know. There's some I really am I don't know. I don't know. There's a couple of things that I want to know, but I don't there's no guarantee that she will speak on them, so I probably will read it out of pure curiosity for that. Sorry for the formatting issue on this slide with the first one. But it is City of Dragons. This is volume 2 in this middle grade dragon series. So for all of you Fourth Wing fans who love dragons, listen, I'm never mind. I'm just gonna leave it alone. But City of Dragons is actually a really, really interesting series. I didn't know if I was gonna like it. Um, it's a very slow start to a fantasy middle grade graphic novel series, but I did enjoy it. It's this main character who is dealing with her mother getting remarried. Her father has passed away. And I believe she goes back to Hong Kong. And there are some magical things that end up happening that she heard about through her father's storytelling, but it's actually, might be real. Um, that's why I said I was gonna leave it alone, Ray. That's why I said I'm just gonna leave it alone. That's why I was gonna be done with it. I was gonna be done with it. Um, The next one is Ways to Build Dreams by Renee Watson. My daughter and I are actually reading the first book together. This is a children's or middle grade fiction, but more so on the younger side. I had the honor and pleasure of meeting Renee. When did I meet Renee? Oh, goodness gracious, y'all. I I had lunch with her earlier this year. I think it was before I met Raul. I had the pleasure and seriously pleasure and honor of going to lunch with Renee Watson. It was very, very nice. And she was talking about the series. Um, and I think that this may be the last one. I don't know the way that she was talking about it. I didn't think that she was going to possibly write any more in the series, but it's a cute younger middle grade series that does very, very well on the market. And my daughter and I are reading, like I said, we're reading the first one together right now, slowly doing like a chapter a night. And so I'm enjoying it. My kid's enjoying it. So let me include this one as well. And the next one is the third book in a middle grade graphic novel series as well. Now I put this on here because part of me wants to continue with the series, and part of me is kind of like, I'll get to it when I get to it. I read the first one in the Paw series, and each one of these books takes its perspective from one of the three main characters. Honestly, if you want a middle grade graphic novel that is going to showcase animals, we're talking about allergies to animals, because that's a main component of the first one. They're starting a dog walking company, but is it one of the main characters, or is it a parent that's allergic to dogs? One of the two. Honestly, I feel like the actual book, the graphic novel Allergic, did it better. But if you want more of that, babysitter club vibe, you know, young middle grade friendship, entrepreneurship, um, pause is one for you to go to. I'm not in a rush to finish it, but it is worth a mention. The City of Dragons was a slow start, but I enjoyed it by the time that I got to the end of it. All right, so in this one we have a little bit of a different makeup. We have an adult nonfiction, which is an inconvenient cop, which I am very, very interested in this one. So this is a actual whistleblower, a high-ranking whistleblower in the NYPD, and it's a look at the complexities of modern policing and how much reform it needs to go through. So the fact that, I think part of me is like, we know that there are issues, but this is from the perspective of a whistleblower. So with that being said, I'm sure there's going to be some things that are going to be shared that the public is not traditionally privy to. So I'm really, really interested in that one. Then we have another Rick Riordan Presents book coming out. They drop these things like hotcakes. There's no way to keep up with all of this. There's been anywhere between 5 to 8 Rick Riordan Presents releases this year. I mean, they drop them like it's nothing. And so, but I do plan to read them all. But this is just not making it any easier for me. So Yoon Ha Lee is coming out with their third one in the series that is based on Korean mythology, and it's tied to Korean animal spirits. Now, from my understanding, the way that Yoon Ha Lee does this series in particular, I believe that each book takes its perspective is from a different character. I don't think it's one of those series where we're getting the consecutive or the consistent perspective of one character. If I'm not mistaken, each book is a different character. But New Rick Riordan Presents, if you're interested in it. The next one we have is a middle grade graphic novel, Mabuhay. I hope I'm saying that right. I feel like I'm butchering that, which if I am, you just let me know. It's a heartwarming middle grade graphic novel that is supposed to celebrate family, food, and culture, if I'm not mistaken. Going back over my notes. Folklore. 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 I am glad that you've been hearing really good things about it. I did not know that this was coming out until I went to go sit down and make the list for the month of October. And I was like, I had no idea. So I'm very excited for that specific release. Moving on, we have a YA thriller, which is it's a locked door thriller, but on a plane. And I don't know, this could either go really, really well or really, really poorly. They're 12 contestants. They're on a plane for 8 hours. And it's tagged as a flight that none of them may survive. And they're flying to Paris. And what is them flying to Paris to seek an opportunity turns deadly and suspenseful. So they're saying that this is perfect for fans of Diana Irving, Karen McManus, and Jessica Goodman. I have not read Diana Irving, but I have read Karen McManus and Jessica Goodman. This could potentially be a hit or miss for me because I think the Jessica Goodman book that I read, I gave like 2.5 stars. And Karen McManus, I've read everything that she's written. But most of her books for me are landing at like average, probably like a 3.5. So this could potentially not be a good thing for me, considering the comps for the title itself. The next one is a YA fantasy called A Bright Heart. It's the first question that they ask, like when you look at the summary of this book, is like, what if you could avenge your own murder? I would do it. I don't know about y'all, but I would avenge my own murder. And it's a young woman, the main character, gets the opportunity, a second chance at life to do that. So this one is supposed to include vengeance, court intrigue, and romance, and it's inspired by classical Chinese tropes. So I would be interested. I'm really, really interested in that one. And I think Kirkus gave that one a pretty solid review. Another nonfiction. So a lot of good nonfiction that I think is coming out in the month of October. This is Gray Areas: How the Way We Work Perpetuates Racism and What We Can Do to Fix It. So this is from the perspective of a sociologist, excuse me, and answers questions as to why racial inequality still exists in the workplace, despite there being a multi-billion diverse industry. Like, why do we still have racial inequality? And so this sociologist provides actionable items to change those things. Now, I'm reading this out of pure curiosity as to what these actionable items are, and what lens and perspective this sociologist is writing from, just out of curiosity, and whether there is new insight to be learned from this one. But it sounded interesting, so I added it. All right, next we have it's a Canaan. Listen, my pronunciation guide is not here today. This is a middle grade fantasy, black boy magic, magical school trope. Like literally, he has what they call freestyling magic, which I'm not sure what exactly that means. In the description talks about him having freestyling magic. Not sure what that is, but it does have the magical school trope. So if you're interested in more magical schools, which I have this one on this list because I do have an arc of it. Excuse me. But there's been a lot of, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, do y'all feel like, especially in like, for those of you who read middle grade, has there been a lot of magical school stuff like coming out, or am I like bugging? Because a huge part of me feels like there's been a lot of magical school books coming out, at least like within the past year. And I just always hope that they bring something new to the table, which is not always a thing. The next one is a picture book, which is Edda Extraordinaire. Um, I mean, what else can I say? It's Edda Extraordinaire. Like, there's not really much of a description for this one, but it looked really, really cute. And um, I'm hoping that it's good because I believe this is the same author as May Among the Stars, which is a really, really nice picture book. So that's why I went with that. Okay, so I'm not bugging. Thank you, y'all. Yeah, a lot of that. I think a lot of that is very much true. And honestly, some people have been able to do it well, and some people have not been able to do it well. Like Daniel Clayton's The Marvelers. I think I talked about that in the September releases because it does come out this month. You know, I could go either way with that one. Like I really didn't enjoy the first one, and I wanted to reread it because I felt like I didn't want to be too harsh because I'm not the intended audience. But there's that. Then Angie Thomas released hers this year, which I did end up reading. Which it to switch not only age demographic but also genre. She typically writes YA um, realistic fiction. So she switched genres and age category. It wasn't as rough as I thought it was going to be. So um, there's that. Yeah, yeah, there has been. There's been a lot of like the PR. Yeah, yeah. I mean, with the Rick Riordan Presents imprint, it's kind of hard to compete with that, considering that Rick Riordan's name is kind of attached to that. But I'm also hoping that they don't run that into the ground. And what I think him and his company are trying to do, um, to not run it in the ground, is they are now shifting to YA. So in 2024, so they tried it out with Danielle Jose older series. That series is young adult. And now what they're doing is they're shifting more of their titles next year are going to be more young adult than middle grade. Because I mean they're still producing middle grade, but I think they're trying not to burn out one age demographic. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Why they said it there. I do. It's just I think that like I said, some of them were hits. Some of them are good. Like not really magical school per se, but that kind of has that feel to it that you get with the series. Like I thought Witchlings is a solid substitute. I thought that the first Amari book is a solid substitute. Um, Angie's book it's not it wasn't bad. Just it is what it is. All right, next one we have is Unfamiliar Volume 2. I read Unfamiliar. Ooh, I think I read it this year. I That's horrible of me. Um, I definitely have read it, but I can't remember. Not Renee. The first thing when I open up Goodreads is you adding that first book to your you want to read pile. Um, okay, I did read it this year. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting. Interesting premise. Artwork was different, but I grew adjusted to it, and it's enough. Nevermore too. I grew adjusted to it enough, and I like the storytelling enough that I was interested in reading the second one. If you're looking for like witchy vibes, but misfit witchy vibes, because she just can't get it together. And a misfit gang of friends. Unfamiliar is a great series to check out if you're into like webcomics. Next we have My Grandfather's Song, which is a picture book about a family's connection to their lands, their home, and each other. And this is the same creator duo as My First Day, which is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful picture book. So I'm happy that they're coming out with another one. Then we have Ready, Set, Dough by Kelly J. Baptiste, who I adore. And this one, and if you didn't know, Kelly wrote Isaiah Dunn. Isaiah Dunn is my hero. I'm like, what is the name of that book? I really did enjoy it. It's heavy, but it was a good book. And this one is about a main character named Zoe Sparks. She's a cookie dough seller, and she wants to win a laptop from her school fundraiser. So, of course, it's more middle grade coming of age, so there's going to be a lot of mishaps and issues as it goes through. Last one on this one is Layers, and this is a young adult graphic novel that is autobiographical. Now, this creator has won an Eisner. I'm just looking forward to it. I really am happy what I'm seeing more of, and since I've been working in collection development, is that we are seeing more graphic novels that are specifically being published for a young adult audience, which is great. That they are getting their own section of graphic novels, because for a long time you would get a few here and there, or you could read some adult titles that would be good for a young adult audience. But it can get so dicey sometimes with graphic novels when it comes to content, and you just don't want to be that person that's responsible for recommending something that is like dicey for a specific household. So it's nice to see that they are specifically creating titles for that demographic, which makes me excited. Oh, the Nevermore book, the last one, keeps getting delayed. Do I own Nevermore? I probably do. There's a lot of stuff I own that I just, have not read yet. I feel like I own Nevermore. I really, really do. I just don't know where it is. All right. I think we are in the last. Is this the last week? The week of. No. Is it the last week? The week of October 24th? No, it is not the last week. All right. Y'all, I'm pretty sure I left out the week of October 31st. Or maybe I didn't date it. That could also be a thing. But I wouldn't put it past me to have left out the week of October 31st. But I probably just didn't date it on my notes, which is fine too. And if I left it out, that's also fine. All right. The first one that we have is Jesmyn Ward has a new one coming out called Let Us Descend. This is a adult fiction book that is following an enslaved girl years before the Civil War. That, of course, is going to be tragic and amazing all at once. Then Miss Brittany has her autobiography coming out this week as well. Very, very excited to read this and hear a lot of things from her perspective of what she's been through in terms of the industry and her family. That young lady has been through. I'm saying young lady like she's 25. That woman has been through a lot, a whole lot, and so I'll be interested in hearing from her. And then I did include John Stamos in here because I grew up watching him. And I don't really know much about his background outside of, things that I've seen him in terms of acting. But yeah, I'm just very interested in his story because um, I feel like he's been through a lot in the background too. But yeah, definitely the month for. I didn't include it on this because I don't know if I would read it or not. But Dolly Parton also has an autobiography coming out. Did she write it or someone else write it? It's either an autobiography or biography. Dolly Parton also comes out in the month of October. October just seems to be like biography, memoir atmosphere. Um, so if you're, a person who's into biography and memoirs, I definitely would recommend looking into October. Yeah. Dolly, John, Brittany, it's a lot. I think that is a recent pick of him. He's actually aged very well. I think so. Um, I think he's aged very, very well because I forgot how old he was the last time I looked up a picture of him because my daughter and I had just watched the live action, not live action, but the stage performance of The Little Mermaid on Disney Plus, and I didn't realize that John Stamos was um y'all know the cook that sings Le Poisson. Like I didn't know that was him for a second. It took me a second to be like, is that John Stamos? So I looked it up and I Googled and I was like, he has aged very well. Um he's aged very well. He's got the vampiric thing working for him. Because who else is like that? Nas hasn't really aged. Pharrell looks the same to the point that it's gotten extremely weird to me that he just does not look any different. Um, Not mad at it, but I'm just like, what is what is life? What is going on here? All right. Next here we have Dark Sun, which I did not pull a description. Ray, a mixed company, honey. You know what I was saying, okay? Like you know what I was getting at here. Um Bamboo Kingdom. This is another one of those Aaron Hunter series. I put it on here primarily, not gonna even lie to y'all, not 100% for y'all. I actually primarily put this on here for me to remind myself that I need to continue with Aaron Hunter series. The Bamboo Kingdom is another one of their series that focuses on, I think, just panda bears because they have one that focuses on bears of North America, and that's called The Seekers. And then this one, Bamboo Kingdom, specifically follows um, panda bears. So that was more of a reminder for me. Um, the second one is also a reminder for me. Um, A Christmas to Remember. It's adult contemporary romance by Beverly Jenkins. This is a part of her Blessing series, which I don't hear as many people talk about. I've read two of the books in the Blessing series. I do need to go back and read the rest of the series. This is more of her contemporary, as opposed to her historical, although it is definitely tied to what she does historically. Um, I wouldn't, things are always connected in when you talk about Beverly Jenkins, but this takes place in Henry Adams, Kansas. It's a lot of history tied to it. I believe that series has got to be at least over 10 books in at this time, but this is the series that I feel like she gets less shine for, as a contemporary writer. Um, I wouldn't read it as a standalone, only because they're all taking place. I don't know. My recommendation is not to read it as a standalone. That's all I'm gonna say. I wouldn't. But I would, if you are interested in her contemporary stuff, I will say like start with the first book in this series. I love her writing. She's a very detail-oriented writer. I just finished one of her books last month, Night Song. Very detail-oriented, very much so, dives deep into history, and she is just proof that Black people during that time did have great love stories and happy endings, unlike Miss Julia Quinn has stated before and then wanted to showcase a Black woman in her. I'm going to stop. I really am. I'm going to stop. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. But there's that. It's called the Blessing series. The Blessing series. The last one on here is Everything Is Not Enough. This is adult literary fiction. I won't get you started on Julia Quinn. You see, Ray, how quick I kind of like hop back off of it because I was like, I don't want to get on Miss Quinn tonight. I'm not going to do it. I don't even have the energy. This is the same author of In Every Mirror She's Black. This one is a story about the lives of 3 Black women who deal with their own personal struggles while being in Sweden, which I think is interesting. Yeah, she has been, yeah, she said that, I don't know if I feel like she said that at a panel or something, but someone asked her why she didn't include Black characters in her books, and she said something along the lines of all of her, she wants her characters to have happy endings. And so the insinuation as though Black people in historical times didn't have happy endings is disgusting. And, Beverly Jenkins proves that time and time. And not just Beverly Jenkins, but there were historical novels written, Black historical romances written as well, like in addition to what Beverly Jenkins did. So, child, if you ain't gonna write Black people, and I'd rather you not at this point, to be honest with you, I'd rather you just not. Stay with what you know, but don't comment on spaces that don't belong to you. That's all I got to say. I would rather you not write about Black characters because clearly you wouldn't know how to treat them, but keep your comments to yourself. I have not read it. I have scrolled past it many times, Ray. Have you read it? I have. I've scrolled past it many a time with intentions to eventually read it, but I haven't gotten to it yet. All right, next one. Now, I thought this was interesting. Holly Black is dipping into her picture book phase. And so I don't know how I feel about it just yet, but I think that at this point, writers are just trying out. they're putting their hands into whatever they can get their hands into. I'm not saying that they're not gifted or talented enough to be able to do it, but there's always a market for there's always a market for picture books. And so Holly Black is writing a picture book, which is no different. I think last week I talked about Jason June kind of doing the same thing. Jason June has written not only young adult, but has delved into some early chapter book stuff, which I actually requested from a library because I wanted to see what it would be like, just a mermaid chapter book series. And then I believe they had a picture book already released. Did not see Holly Black going down that road. I'm very interested in seeing how well this does. It's not as easy to write a picture book as people think. It's a lot that has to go into 32 pages. And I don't know, I'm just curious, but this is a retelling of a little known figure in Arthurian legend. So there's that. I agree, Renee. I have my feelings about the cover for that one. So we'll see how that goes. It's interesting because also okay. Mother has been you say touching his racist hearts. So I talk she gave a right and I said, oh, yeah. Spiderwick Chronicles were big when they were releasing. She had a R&J series that was very diverse and very good. Who? Shonda? Okay. I know I'm not gonna get into this. I don't want to get into this right now because I'm trying to stay focused and on task. I think the casting is interesting. And I say the casting is interesting because I am think about the treatment of Black bodies in Bridgerton with the casting. The assault on Black bodies that happens in Bridgerton. That's never, ever going to sit right with me um, in Bridgerton and Queen Charlotte. And so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What's one more? Tammy. I do too. Thank you for saying it. Oh, it is a sequel to Evermere. Okay. So everyone, I did not include this. Thank you, Ray, for doing the research. Everything is Not Enough is a sequel to In Every Mirror. So make sure that you read In Every Mirror first if you're interested in picking that one up. I apologize. There was no notation that it was a sequel. It just said highly anticipated second novel, but didn't say sequel. So thank you for finding that. All right. Um, Jawbreaker. This, first of all, I think that this cover is absolutely adorable. I'm sorry. I think it's cute. Um, this is being comped as perfect for fans of Raina Telgemeyer's Smile, which I love Raina Telgemeier. I love Smile. So that already kind of had me hooked. This is a middle grade debut, and it focuses on things like toxic sibling rivalry, socioeconomic disparity, and dental drama, which, yes, if you can see from that picture, there's some serious gear being had there. Um, the last one on this page, which I think is the cute play on sleepless in Seattle is sleepless in Dubai. This is a young adult realistic fiction. This is the same author of My Sister's Big Fat Indian Wedding, which I did not read, but have wanted to read. I haven't gotten to it yet. It is a rom-com about two teens who travel to Dubai for Diwali. So if you're into rom-coms, you like young adults, that might be one for you to try out. Okay. Next one, I have Super Boba Cafe. This is a middle grade graphic novel. I am familiar with this creator, Need He. It is a graphic novel about a secret tea shop, an an earthquake causing monster, and an unforgettable summer. Um, I think I've read a handful of things by this creator at this point, and I rarely am ever disappointed. So that's why I added this one. Next, we have Iris Kelly Doesn't Date, which should be the third, correct? The third in the series, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like this is the third. This one is a fake relationship that is established after a one night stand. And is a romantic comedy. The first one in this series by Ashley Herring Blake I really, 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 really enjoyed it. I still need to get to the second ones, but I am looking forward to the third one. And this last one, Thank you, y'all. I was like, I can't remember if it's the third or if I've missed a publication in between. I get so mixed up with adult publications now because my brain is so hardwired for children and young adult releases. I know those like clockwork. But when it comes down to adult releases now, I'm just as confused as can be. I'm a ball of confusion. Next we have, this is a risk for me. I'm not gonna lie. This is Sparkle. It's middle grade realistic fiction by Lakita Wilson. Now, last year, I am pretty sure it was last year, I read, I'm looking it up on Goodreads now. Renee, every time I open up Goodreads, you're putting something on your TBR. I can't. Yes. So since this book though, Lakita has come out with a young adult book that I have not read. I believe that young adult book released this year. Or maybe it was late last year. Either way. I read Be Real, Macy Weaver last year. And I struggled with that book so much because the mother was a shitty character. She was horrible. She basically, I feel like it was manipulation. She manipulates the family into moving out of state to another area so she can go back to school, right? So at first it seems like it's not that bad. Because she wants to go back to school. She doesn't want to just continue being a bank teller. And we're following everything through Macy's perspective. She's dealing with some like friend issues at school. And so she wants to move so she can start over. Well, when they get to this new place, her mom decides to move out and go live on campus. Because she wants a college experience. Ma'am. No, ma'am. No. Not only does she want the college experience, but when her daughter, Macy, tries to hang out with her, she lies and says she has study groups. And Macy gets on Instagram and she's out with other college students doing stuff like getting pizza and hanging out. And I'm like, yo, what the? Her dad works all the time to cover the bills at home and to accommodate paying for the mother's education. And so she just like, I don't know. Then Macy lies the entire book about who she is because she wants to be cool and she doesn't fit in. It was just like it was a shit show of a book. And so I'm interested in this one because it's about a 12-year-old aspiring superstar and she's diagnosed with alopecia, right? And so she's forced to kind of navigate dealing with her aspiring career, family, friends, her own self-esteem and stuff while she's losing her hair. This can either go really, really well, because I don't know if I've read a book, like a middle grade book, that has a main character that specifically deals with alopecia. And so that is why I was very, very interested. But because Be Real Macy Weaver was such a hot mess, I am exceptionally nervous about this one. But I can't lie and say that it didn't catch my attention because it did, but we're just going to go with it. She definitely wanted to have a hot girl fall. And I was completely pissed at her for abandoning her child. And then she gaslit the hell out of her at the end of the book. I mean, was gaslighting her. Like, I was like, yo, what in the world? That's wild, man. Like, oh. Okay. So this one, 3. We have Cut Loose, which is the sequel to Chance to Fly. Cover's really nice. Can't read it without reading Chance to Fly. So there's that. It's the sequel to Chance to Fly. Then we have Black Love Letters. So this is everybody from Black writers, Black creators, thinkers, And it's a collection of letters and illustrations on the subject of Black love, which I'm definitely looking forward to that. It's a celebration of Blackness, so I was down with it when I saw it. The last one is an adult cozy. I didn't say cozy fantasy, y'all. I meant to say cozy mystery. It's not a cozy fantasy. It's a cozy mystery. This is a new this is a start to a new series. This author already has written books before. It's about a widow single mom who um, is moving from LA to one country and finds herself in the middle of a murder mystery, which typically that's how most cozies work. This one caught my attention because our patron book club theme for this month is cozy mystery. So I saw this, I was like, "Ooh, cozy mystery!" Like we've been talking about cozy mysteries, and so I added it to the list because it sounded interesting. Speaking of authors jumping age categories here, we have Julie Murphy releasing a picture book as well, called Chubby Bunny. Oh, I'm not sure off the top of my head, Ray. I just know that they've written, but I couldn't tell you a name of the series if you paid me to. Chubby Bunny. It's a body positivity story. Which I think is going to be interesting because, the game Chubby Bunny. The second one, Rain Remembers, is a middle grade realistic fiction, but this is a sequel to, well, I don't want to say sequel, it's a companion novel to Rising Rain by the same author. So I would recommend reading that one before checking that one out. And the last one is The Bronx is My Home. It's a picture book, of course, that celebrates the history, landscape, cuisine, culture, everything about the Bronx. Just look really, really cute. And let's see here. The last two that we have for this week, we're actually going to see if I even did October 31st, which I did. I did. I just didn't break it down in my notes. So I did not leave out. But there's not a lot for October 31st. There's like 6 books for October 31st. So the first one, or the second to last one that we have for October 24th, is going to be Song of the Swan, which is the middle grade fantasy. This is a retelling of Swan Lake. So if you're a fan of Swan Lake, it's a magical retelling. And then we have Game of Freedom, which is by Duncan Tonatua. I love Duncan. Duncan's artwork is so distinctive. Anytime Duncan does artwork for literally for anything, like anything, I immediately know that it's Duncan Tonatua. But this is a new one that is about an athlete, and I don't want to say their name wrong nor the sport wrong, so I'm not gonna do that. Okay. But it is about this individual who resisted racial oppression through art, and turned a marginalized practice into a global phenomena. So definitely interested in that because, like I said, it's Duncan. So there we go. I'll read anything that Duncan does. All right. And our last week of October is October 31st, Halloween. We have The Warrior's Ultimate Guide releasing. Okay. Let me tell you, I'm amped for that. And I'm not even far enough in the series to be amped for this. I should not be excited for this Warrior's Companion book, but I am excited for it. And it's kind of just one of those situations where it is what it is. I should not be this excited for it considering the fact that I haven't read enough books. There's so many books in this series. Is so many books in this series. But this is this has a lot of information in it. This is actually not it's new, but it's not new. It's an updated version of an old guide that they had out. This one appears to be like much nicer, clean cut. Then we have Juniper's Christmas, which is by Colfer. I didn't see this one coming. This is a Christmas classic in the making. So if you're looking for a Christmas book, or some younger readers that are looking for Christmassy books, Juniper's Christmas is one to check out. Then I have The Reformatory, which a lot of you probably already know about. Tenerife Due, new release coming out on Halloween, set in Jim Crow, Florida. Follows a main character by the name of Robert, and he's sent to a segregated reform school that is a chamber of terrors where he sees the horrors of racism and injustice for the living and for the dead. So I know that a lot of people are excited to read The Reformatory. It's on so many people's radars. So I know that's going to be a big hit amongst people all over the place. Yes, I included Jennifer L. Armentrout because, why not at this point? Because I know it's going to be a hit amongst some individuals. I don't care either way. I do own 2 books in one of her series. At this point, I'm very confused about how the series works, but this one is A Fire in the Flesh. New words need to be used. But this is book 3 in her Flesh and Fire series. So there's that. Then we have Blood Sisters. This is one that I'm really, really interested in. This is a mystery about a Cherokee archaeologist working for the Bureau of Indian Affairs, who is summoned to rural Oklahoma to investigate the disappearance of 2 women. And one of the 2 women that is missing is actually her sister. So that sounds great. Then we have I put adult nonfiction, y'all. I apologize. It's not adult nonfiction. This is a children's nonfiction book. And it is it's a biography. It's a children's book biography about a artist and activist. I don't know why I can't talk today. I don't have words. Why are you is everyone putting sick ew in all this stuff emojis because of Jennifer L. Armentrout's book? Is that what we're doing? Is that what this is? I just want to make sure because I see Erica putting like the vomit face up. Ray said ew. So I'm gonna guess that that's for Jennifer L. Armentrout. All right. Next we have The Sun Sets in Singapore, which is about 3 main characters, Dara, Amaka, and Lillian, who are living a glorious expat dream. And then a new arrival comes in and infiltrates their tight-knit community and ruins everything. So this cover was very interesting. I did guess correctly. Okay. I like this cover. I thought this cover was really, really different, interesting. Then we have a YA thriller called The Rosewood Hunt. And this is a friends to lover romance, suspenseful thriller that's perfect for the fans of Inheritance Games and Knives Out. Now, this also could potentially be a miss for me because I did not like the Inheritance Games. So there's that. I mean, a lot of the comps that they use for YA thrillers, I tried to look over to give newer authors a chance because the biggest names are people that I'm kind of like mediocre with or I haven't liked. So Jennifer Lynn Barnes, Karen McManus, Jessica Goodman. Those are like 3 heavy hitters right now when it comes to YA thrillers. And they get used as comps a lot. And so sometimes I will ignore a comp, but I mean, if we're comping to the Inheritance Games, the Inheritance Games was just like, it was not good to me at all. And the last one is a YA fantasy. This is a romantic fantasy about a powerful witch who will do anything to escape the remote island she's being held captive on, including blackmailing Chris. Here it is for you. A notorious charming pirate who washes up on shore, and it's a debut. I'm excited for it because that cover is just, it's gorgeous. It's one of the most beautiful covers that I have seen released so far this year. It's absolutely gorgeous. But also, I know that beautiful covers don't mean jack shit nowadays, so let's just hope that the insides match. Yeah, it sucks that that's being, and I like, I get it because they want to comp things that are going to draw in high levels of like readership, but also a lot of times comps are wholly inaccurate. Um, like I don't, let me think of a comp that I thought was a really bad comp. Not a really bad comp, but I thought was inaccurate. I thought like Onyeka and the Academy of the Sun, right? They comped that for Black Panther, which it is not. Like for me, it's not a good Black Panther is not a good comp for it. But I think because at the time of publishing, Black Panther was a huge thing. Has that superhero vibe to it, very Marvel-esque. But honestly, it definitely is an X-Men type of story. So there's that. I I don't know. It ruined it for me. Until the pirates, I think really pirates or space pirates. Oh my gosh, Chris. Yeah, I think I definitely think I'm going to read that one when it releases. All right, last two for October 31st. We have The Space Between. This is a YA science fiction, which we don't really get a lot of. Um, Big YA science fiction. It's a lot of smaller presses that do YA science fiction, but usually the marketing for YA science fiction is not that great. And so I actually have read Sarah Sook before. Um, what was the name of the book? Of course, when I need to remember something, I don't remember it. I believe it is Made in Korea is the correct title. I feel like that's. Thank you, Tammy. Yes, I read Made in Korea, and I enjoyed it. I think that was like a 4-star read for me. I'm interested in this one with it being science fiction. The comps are they both die at the end, and you've reached Sam. Now, I've heard decent things about You've Reached Sam, but I don't know how I would feel about they both die at the end. Um, so there's that. But it follows a teen with a mysterious condition that transports her to the past when she smells certain scents linked to specific memories. I think that's a really interesting concept. The execution, in my opinion, can go left or right with this one. The fact that she time travels based off of scent is pretty damn cool. Um, but I don't know how the execution will go, so I'll just have to wait and see. But it did when I like read a little bit more, being familiar with the author, I was like, this one might actually be good. And I'm not a big science fiction reader to begin with. But this one I think I can get into it. Um, and the last one is What the River Knows. I know that there is some controversy that has existed with this author, if I'm not mistaken, in the past. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that there has been. I don't know whether if it was this happened so long ago. I can't remember if it was representation issues or comments made, but I know that a lot of people are looking forward to this one. It is a historical fantasy. It's a mummy. It's they say that it is the mummy meets death on the Nile, and is set in Egypt. Rivals to lovers romance, in a dangerous race. I don't remember. I don't quite remember the details, Jennifer. To be honest with you, it's so hard sometimes, I think, to keep up with what. Yeah, that's okay. So it was comments. I couldn't remember um what it was that she said, but I know that there was an uproar um about it, and I can't remember when exactly this happened. Um, but I feel like it was in direct relationship to Woven in Moonlight, um, or somewhere around that time. But this one is one that I have seen go around already on social media. So I would not be surprised um, if this one becomes a big one. Now, will I read it? I do not know. To be honest with you, it's the commentary in the book. It was rather negative towards Indigenous folks. That's what it was. Okay. Um, I don't know. Did she take accountability for any of that, or what was the? Because I feel like I caught the wind of it. I wasn't present for what actually went down, which is why I don't even really know what was said or what happened. I just know that there was controversy attached to her at one point a couple of years back. Um, but this one is already getting some traction, just so y'all do know. Um, just to be aware. Not you with the emojis, Kathleen. Not you with the emojis. Okay. All right. So that is it. I believe that's it. Yes. Yes, that is it for the month of October. Um, what was that? That had to be close to not pro-colonizer. That's a lot. That's a lot. Um, if that's what she was going for was pro-colonizer. Um, but yes, I said 80 plus recommendations. Should show like claims advantages of everyone in our books. Yes, only an hour tonight, y'all. I kept it at an hour. Um, so there is that. That was over 100 recommendations between part one and part two. I hope y'all got some things to add to your TBR, which I know that Renee did, because Renee was actively adding um, to her Goodreads while this was going on. Because every time I opened up Goodreads, there was Renee. We are doing nothing next, Erica. I'm glad that you were amped and hype up, but I do have to go to work in the morning, and I have a presentation to get prepared for that I'm giving on Wednesday. So some things. I'm sorry, y'all. This is such a nice way to do this. Like I really enjoy doing the live version of these. November releases will be at the top of October. Ooh, maybe not the top of October. Um, Dang, Ray, that was a good question. That was a daggone good question. No, I can still do it. I can still do it as I could still do the top of October. If anything, November release live should be, I would say, um, let me think about this. October 2nd, probably, would probably be the day. The second week of October, no, because I won't be able to concentrate. So no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yes, in worst case scenario, if I can't do it on Monday, um, I will do it that Tuesday at Erica's house. So I will see. Bree Bree, Y'all, Bree kept me up late last night. So I'm blaming her for why I'm tired today. Renee, when is your birthday? Y'all, my birthday's next week. I keep forgetting. I mean, I'm not forgetting, but I am forgetting. Like, my birthday is next week. Sending a text message. There we go. Okay. Not do it. Do it at Erica's house. That would be entertaining. I'm sorry. You called me. Bree, why are you lying on Beyonce's internet? I did not call you last night. I did not call you last. Y'all, Bree and I was on the phone last night for damn near. I feel like we was on the phone for almost 4 hours last night. I'm looking at my call log right now because I need verification for how long. 3 hours and 6 minutes. 3 hours and 6 minutes. October 5th. No, I definitely can't do it October 5th. That's a no-go. That's a no-fly zone. Can't do it October 5th. I wish I could, but I can't. I cannot. You miss me. I did miss you. I missed you a lot. Yeah. Can't, definitely not October 5th. Renee, I will wish you a happy birthday, my beloved, but October 5th is gonna be a no fly zone. Stop it, Aaron. Okay, Erica, if I do this at your house, are you gonna be drinking the entire time? And cutting up? Like, are you gonna let me be great? At all? Drinking straight from the bottle. I could do it on Tuesday. Erica, how about we just plan it that way? How about we just plan for me to do it on that day in October, and I just do it at your house? Okay, we'll just do it that way. All right. So to answer Ray's question, because we're trying to figure out dates, I will do it October 6th. November releases October 6th, except Erica will be in the background drinking and cutting up. So there's that. So done and done. Straight from the bottle. I need to make sure I'm getting hydrated. I have, 20 days? I'm going to make sure that I stay hydrated for 20 days because y'all finna tear my liver up. I know this for facts. All right, y'all. Be easy. I will see y'all later on this week. I do not have a video coming out tomorrow. I don't have anything prepared for tomorrow. But I will have a video coming out Thursday and Saturday of this week. So be on the lookout for that. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I am not going to tear my own liver up. Just come prepared, okay? Just come prepared, Ray. Because you talk a lot of shit. But I'm gonna drink you under the table. It's fine. Anyway, to the rest of you, I hope you have a wonderful night. And I will see y'all. There's 2 videos, and then I'm gonna do another live next Monday. I don't know whether I want to do a discussion-based live or whether I want to do just sprints. Haven't decided yet, but I will let y'all know. Good night.